Hi, everybody. It's getting you all logged in. Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I know I'm sick as a dog, but I feel better today. It's a miracle. I actually feel better. So bear with me. We might have some coughing and some sneezing and so forth, but I'm here today to help you guys. Um, we have a couple of things that have happened. I was asleep at the wheel. I am. Today is actually the first day that I feel good. Like I want to go outside and run around, but I know if I do that, I'll face plant. Um, so I'm trying to take it easy. I'm sitting on my couch. I am in pajamas, as you could see. I did not do my hair or anything. I am sick. I've been sick as a dog. Somebody in the bottom of the Grand Canyon coughed on me, and I did not run fast enough to get away from them. I tried, but it didn't happen. So I know it happened in the Grand Canyon. I could tell you where. I literally remember hearing the guy cough going, "Oh God, get away from him." Well, guess what? Hi. Um, but I'm feeling better, much better. Next week is a very busy week for those of you that know. Agla's doing a live lunch and learn next week on Wednesday, I believe. I'm teaching it. So if you want to come have lunch with me next Wednesday, please sign up for that with Agla now so that you don't forget. I'm letting people into the room. Again, Agla has a lunch and learn on Wednesday next week with yours truly. I am teaching. I have no idea, Christina. I ain't even trying to lie. I don't know. I've been sick for the past 10 days and I have no idea. It's like today I woke up and went, "Hello world. I'm alive." So and Chris wants to know what's for lunch. Christina wants to know what I'm teaching. I have no idea either direction. I'm sorry. Diana's usually really good with making a great lunch for the lunch and learns for Agla, but I will be there on Wednesday. And then on Thursday next week, I'm teaching a lunch and learn or a webinar for them. So Wednesday is a live and in person at Agla next week with me, and Thursday is a lunch and learn with them. No, is a webinar. Wednesday lunch and learn, Thursday webinar. I got it. I'm okay now. I promise. There's just a little bit of snot going on up here. Okay? I am feeling better. Have no idea what I'm teaching. Don't know what's for lunch. I could look and see what I'm teaching. I don't know. Is that bad? Also, just so everybody knows, and I'm really excited about this, on March the 19th, 1-9, the Apartment Association of Orange County, AAOC, is having their trade show in Orange County. And I'm a speaker at the trade show. So I hope to see you all at the Orange County Trade Show on the March 19th. It is free to attend. I believe it's at the Orange County Fairgrounds. If you want more information, I'll get it for you. It is free to attend. It is March the 19th at the Orange County Fairgrounds. And I will be speaking on better ways to manage your investment property in today's society or something along those lines. But I am teaching a class on management there at the trade show. So I will be at the Orange County Trade Show, AAOC, on March 19th at the fairgrounds in Orange County. It is free to attend. It is an all-day event. I highly suggest and recommend that you come because it's a way for you guys to get to know vendors in your area, water heater repairmen, other kinds of workmen, structural engineers, whoever you need is all under one roof, including me. But I will be there. And then on March 25th, Agla has their trade show at the Pasadena Convention Center, and I'll be speaking there also. Yay! And then, just so everybody knows, I am diligently working on a trade show to come out in the Inland Empire in June, July-ish of this year, and it will have industry awards attached to it for property manager of the year and things like that for the Inland Empire area. And then we're going to introduce that in the LA area. Inland Empire's coming first. Sorry, I wasn't fast enough. I tried to get it at the LA trade show, but I was 2 weeks too slow. Sorry, next time I promise. Also, on another note, everybody under Pasadena Measure H needs to pay attention. They just awarded to where we have to pay interest annually on a tenant security deposit for properties subject to Measure H in the city of Pasadena. It is the only entity outside of LARSO that now requires that we pay interest on a security deposit annually here in Southern California.
Oh, hey, I discovered something about that yesterday
Go ahead.
for LA City.
This is Chris, by the way, so people know who's talking.
So, yeah,
It's Bob.
This isn't legal advice. I'm a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. There's no confidentiality. We're recording this. Just needed to put those disclosures out there.
CYAP, Chris, cover your ass with paper.
But anyway, so I was watching one of the LA Housing Department YouTube videos because I guess they put all their webinars on YouTube afterwards, and was made aware that apparently you can either pay the like 4.82% interest this year, or you have the option of paying them the actual interest you earned at the bank. Unfortunately, you have to provide them with a statement. You have to provide them with bank statements or something to show it. However, but if you only own one property that you're renting out, or if you have a good banking relationship, you could establish individual accounts, and then at least you're not being forced to pay them more than what you're capable of earning interest on it in the meantime, especially if it's like a long-term tenant. So I was not aware of that. I've been on all kinds of parts of the LA City housing website and was never made aware of that until watching that webinar. Funny how that works.
You know, it's funny how sometimes you watch a webinar. Somebody told me, Patti, I've watched you teach that class 4 different times, but this time you gave me a new piece of information that I grabbed a hold of. Sometimes it's just that little bit of info that we get that gets us running down a rabbit hole and educates us entirely. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I saw that too, Chris. Because I don't get interest on my account, so I wonder if we could get away with 0.
It's illegal. It's illegal for me to put tenant security deposits in an interest-bearing account because I'm a real estate broker. I mean, it has to do with real estate law. Brokers can't make money off tenants' deposits.
I just have no desire to disclose like big operating accounts. So I wouldn't do it unless God, I mean, you might even want to go to a different bank.
Well, my thinking is let's call Sev over at Century Bank and just open a new account for each tenant security deposit. That shouldn't be an issue.
If they're willing to do that, yeah.
Yeah, Sev's great.
Frankly, I don't really care if there's some nominal amount of interest or not. You just give it over to the freaking tenant.
Right, exactly.
What's crazy though is that, like, I mean,
I'm sorry.
Okay. You know, you actually
they're working on it between 1 and 1:30.
Oh,
it would actually be income, right? For income tax purposes.
Actually, it is.
You have to offset it via like a deduction or something.
Absolutely. Sydney's asking us a question. Oh, Val said something. Hang on. Send tenants a quarter in the mail each December. Val. Okay, Sydney. For the county of LA, is there still no interest required on security deposits? I'm under DCA, under DCBA, unincorporated LA County. I don't believe so.
Thank you. I didn't think so, but I don't know when these things change and how to find that information.
Honey, you know, let me tell you something. I am speaking to you. You guys all know what I do for a living. I look for this information. I have attorneys tell me all the time. We just heard Chris. I've heard this for years, but I never knew about this loophole. So there's all kinds of things that come out of it all the time when we're doing things. But at this time, DCBA does not, at this time, require interest to be paid on security deposits. Do I have a feeling that will change in the near future? Absolutely. But as it sits right now, only RSO, LARSO, anything under RSO. So San Pedro has RSO, Sherman Oaks has RSO. Those all owe interest on the security deposits. The other city that enacted one is the city of Pasadena.
Santa Monica.
And Santa Monica, also RSO is why. And then Pasadena under Measure H has implemented us to pay interest on security deposits.
And then
that is in effect right now.
in LA, it's I have more wrinkles for you, but in LA, it's only RSO, not JCO. But I got another wrinkle for you that we talked about, because apparently condos where a tenancy was started after 1996 is only partially RSO. So it's like they said that there's a registration requirement and there are eviction protections. So then the question becomes, if it's only partially RSO, are they even entitled to security deposit interest? Probably not worth risking, because if God forbid you have to evict someone, it could kill the eviction if you haven't. But.
Yeah. And then we should be seeing the 2026 deposit interest amounts coming out here very quickly. Usually we get that information with the CPI when the CPI changes, and we'll see those numbers May. We usually know about them in May, and then they take effect July 1st with the new CPI, and we'll get the new interest amount and all of that. Usually about in between June and July is usually when we get those numbers.
And Patti, when, let's say DCBA decides to implement this at some point going forward, is it retroactive back to a date? Is it just for new tenants going forward, or how do you determine a date?
Usually when something like that passes, it will go like this. As of April 1st, everyone currently in possession that's lived there for 12 months or longer is entitled to insurance or interest. Okay. If they haven't lived there 12 months, and I'll tell you right now, if they enact it, they'll enact it in a December.
Okay.
Patti?
Being is they want you to pay in December.
For that, okay.
Okay.
Patti?
Yeah.
LA City, housing.lacity.gov has just updated January 1 to December 31 of 2026. It's now going to be 3.03%.
Thank God it wasn't more than the 4.32.
0.32.
Yeah.
You couldn't
it went
earn
down.
it.
But wait, you guys slow down. Hold on. Arlene, you're on to something, okay? So Arlene knows that the interest is going down for LA City. That can tell us that so is the rent increase amount.
Right.
Big picture, folks.
But there's also the question for some of us is, does it even count? Does the rent, the RSO, limit even count for a condo?
Yeah.
If anybody feels like being on that question and answer line for 3 hours on hold trying to get a definitive answer, let me know.
Chris, they've been really good about, if you leave a message, I've gotten a call back within 48 hours.
Do they point you to anything though? Like any authority? Because I'm concerned that some employee who doesn't know what the heck they're talking about is going to tell me one thing or another, and I can't really rely on them.
Right. I got an employee because I wanted to know, is my July rent increase going to be at 90%? What is it going to be, 90% or 3? What is it going to be? And she didn't know, and she put me on hold. She went to talk to a supervisor and a whole big thing. And about 15 minutes later, she came back and said, "We don't know yet. Call us back in May."
Okay, I'm going to give everybody a secret off of everything, because a squirrel just came in front of my blonde brain, okay? And I'm sick, I'm sorry. Anybody wanting to see the super bloom before everybody starts talking about it and it gets announced on the news? It is currently popping off in Death Valley, just so you know, and Anza Borrego Desert, and everywhere else is going to follow within the next week or so. It is wildflower season in the desert, folks, and we've gotten plenty of water to make lots of wildflowers. So if that's something you want to go see, Anza Borrego this weekend would be fire. So would Grand Canyon. So would Death Valley. I'm just saying these are great places if you want to go see a super bloom. It is coming. That's all. Okay, we can go back to interest now. Squirrel! Squirrel, squirrel. All right. Anybody else have anything in regards to interest or anything weird going on in LA? I will say something. I was hoping she would get on here, but I think she's still driving. She may join us. You never know. Let me look really quick. I don't see her yet. One of our lovely little Widget's Way members was in a court hearing this morning. She sued her tenant in small claims to go after the money that was owed to her. I want to say it was like $2,200, okay? She did this on principle. I warned her, sometimes we don't win these judgments. She won in small claims today. She's pissed because the judge made her do a payment arrangement amount, but she got the full amount of the judgment. She got the full amount of the judgment. We're not seeing that. That's great news. Okay?
Was that in LA?
She did that in Rancho Cucamonga. But I'm just letting you know, there's other ones in Rancho where I've seen them flip it and get sued for habitability right there. It's insane what's happening. But I want to let you guys know she won one. So it is possible if we line up our ducks properly and make sure everything's in order. She wanted all the money right now, and they wouldn't do that. They did a payment arrangement. She wasn't happy about that. But the big picture is she got the judgment for the full amount. That's the big picture. That's what we're after. Okay? Yay! Winning! Winning!
Yeah, and the nice thing though is that, like, because it's not an eviction, it's not sealed.
Correct.
So when somebody, Google searches them as prospective tenants, it's going to come up in that little Unicourt thing probably. And when, if anybody does a more official like litigation search, they're going to see. And if they put two and two together, oh, this was listed as your second to last landlord.
Why do they have a judgment against you for $12,500?
Right, or 2,200 or whatever. Like, how come they got a judgment against you? You don't have to sue good tenants.
No.
In my experience.
No, absolutely not. And it all comes down, in my opinion, to a business decision. Let me give you guys an example. My number used to be $500. If you owed me more than $500, I sued you in small claims court and got a judgment, okay? That was before COVID, okay? Then my number went from $500 to $1,000 because if it wasn't $1,000, it wasn't worth my time to go deal with small claims court all day. It's an all-day adventure, right? Or a half-day adventure. So then I got to the point where my number was $5,000. If you owed less than $5,000, I didn't mess with you. If you owed more than $5,000, I came after you. Right now, I want to say my number is about $8,000. I mean, it's got to be pretty extensive for me to come after you in small claims because it's so risky. In some counties, we're not even getting justice. We're not even getting what's right. Okay, so it is quite challenging. I never thought in a million years I would say small claims is quite challenging for us to get money judgments on things that we rightfully are owed. Rightfully. But the tables of management are turning and the odds are not always in our favor, depending on where we're at in what jurisdiction. So with that said, I am head over heels ecstatic to know that the Inland Empire, okay, That's what we should all be hearing. The Inland Empire is still letting us get money judgments for the full dollar amount when we're rightfully owed for damages. That's what we all should hear. Inland Empire, okay? Rancho Cucamonga area, Upland. That's what we're talking about. San Bernardino area. That's what we need to be hearing, right? Where are they giving us money judgments where they're rightfully deserved? Might be a good place to do business. Just saying. There's a couple of things legislative wise we're being attacked by. They're very interesting. Come November, there'll be interesting things on our ballot. Trust me. Chris, they just tried to add an additional 3 months for the fire victims, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 3 months or some. They shot that down. There's no more extensions. It looks like the light is coming on. They're starting to see clearly that this is not an extension of a hardship. It's an extension of a gimme. Give me this and give me that and gimme. So hopefully things are set forth clearly now and we can move forward in a rapid fashion. Do I have experience, positive or negative, for pre-inspection company for SCEP? No, I've never used a company for my SCEP inspections. I've always done them myself. I think that's what you're asking me, if I used a company for a pre-inspection.
Yeah.
I've always done them myself. Mm-hmm. And you know, the one that gets me isn't the SCEP inspection, it's a Section 8 inspection. And you know what it says in Section 8? That the landlord needs to take care of carpet cleaning. What? Dirty them carpets? Why do I gotta clean them? Section 8's a little different. They say the landlord's responsible for carpet cleaning.
Does anybody on here have good recommendation for carpet upholstery cleaning on the west side? On the west side? Okay.
Call Anderson Carpet Cleaning out of Claremont. Anderson's Carpet Cleaning. You want to talk to Tom?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Tom Anderson's a hell of a good guy. I've worked with him for 20 years. I have watched that man bring carpet back to life that should have been. I had somebody use their living room carpet as an auto garage salvage yard, and the owner could not afford to replace the carpet or the padding. So I sent Tom in there to see what he could do. He cleaned it, and then he dyed it because it was so messed up, and he saved the carpet. I mean, it worked for another 5 years. It was great. So he is amazing. Anderson's Carpet Cleaning, Tom Anderson, he does an amazing job with carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning. He can even do the sealing of the wood floor if you need it sealed. There's all kinds of things he can do. Great guy. Also, just so you know.
I've got a lease question. I have a new tenant finally after 7 months, and I'm working on a lease, but I was talking to a friend of mine who owns property in LA City, and in her lease, she owns a small, she's a mom and pop, owns a small 2 or 3 unit building. And at the end of her lease, she wrote in there, she has further acknowledgement by tenant. That tenant hereby acknowledges that they've received the rent stabilization form that she sent via mail and the tenant's right to counsel. I know we're supposed to post them on the building as well, but she also added that to her lease and got
Absolutely.
the tenants to initial that. Is that something that is recommended?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
I do it.
Okay.
I'm waiting
I'll
for
make it in
Arlene. I'm waiting for Arlene to pipe in and go, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, it wasn't on the AGLA lease. I downloaded that. I've been going through that. I didn't see that on the AGLA lease. I didn't see those like where you have them initial that they've received it, but I was planning to do that.
Yeah,
I would
I
would
do
make a
it.
separate, I would make a separate addendum and I have it say basically tenant or tenants hereby acknowledge uh receipt and posting of, and then I literally title what the documents are, and I'll put a one double, tenants rights to council, two, and the date as explicit as possible.
Okay.
But so right there, and you attach it. I even like write the page number on it so it continues from the lease, so it's very clear it was all part of the lease.
Okay.
I just you want to nip that in the bud, and you don't want it to come up someday with, oh well, I never got this or that. Like, well, then why'd you sign this? Why'd you sign an addendum saying you did?
Okay. Got it.
Plus,
Anything?
I
plus you
also,
have it in the lease.
Okay.
yeah. Part of
Anything-
my lease, the first page of my lease is a table of contents, and I list every item, every addendum, everything, and at the end of it, we both date and sign it.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that, but I
You're a little bit
try and
more
update things,
detailed
but
than mine. Yeah.
I've moved to just using the CAA one because it seems to be pretty comprehensive and covers most things. There, every once in a while with a form, there's a situation that hasn't been contemplated, and I just like I'll use whiteout and modify it because I feel comfortable, even though they tell you they don't really warrant them, but they don't really guarantee them anyway if you look at their stuff. But it's just better. It's better to have somebody who's doing it full time, like drafting leases, than your own stuff, because you'll
Yes.
invariably forget stuff or have a typo or something. I
Agreed.
don't know. That's my advice is to use someone else's boilerplate. Plus, like when there's a principle in like construction of contracts, which a lease is, right? That whoever drafted it is like the ambiguities are held against the person who drafted it.
Mhm.
So if you didn't draft it, if it's some third party thing, well, the ambiguities shouldn't really be held against you.
Right. And then you lose that protection somewhat. So use somebody else's boilerplate.
And then, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't draft leases. I don't have a lawyer. We're just getting form leases, Your Honor.
So you're saying use the AGLA lease then is what you're telling me.
I'd rather use the AGLA lease than my own. I'd rather use. I personally prefer the CAA one because I find it more comprehensive, and
Okay.
I don't know. I think they use more expensive lawyers or something.
Yeah. And I'm in the county. Does that matter, Chris? I don't know. I mean, my property's in the county.
She's under DCBA instead.
I mean, you just got to make sure whatever it is complies with that. But most of the big stuff is state stuff in the lease, and then it's whatever DCBA makes you. I don't know why we don't just have a binder that we're required to give them, or one thing instead of like, here's 6 things you got to have. Like, it'd be nice if they came up with something that was just a one thing. You gave them a 6-pager that had all their rights, and
It'll never happen, Chris, because it changes every 5 minutes.
Right. I know. And it would too much work to just change one thing instead of changing 6 things.
And they don't want to make it easy for us. Come on.
Right. And then I know I have to give them the lead pamphlet. Is there anything else that I should be aware of?
Well, with the
Mold.
lead-based pamphlet also becomes a checklist for it, stating that if you or your agent has any knowledge of any lead-based paint, you also have mold, you also have bed bugs, you also have, and I'm just trying to think of the mandated requirements. Lead-based paint, asbestos,
you want something in there about mold that they notify you right away that that they're somewhere there's a responsibility to keep the place like clean and sanitary, so that you can when
there's 2 things that fall out of tenant under California Civil Code, and one of them is ventilation, so they have to properly ventilate the restroom areas. Okay. Example, open the window after showering or use the exhaust fan. I call it the fart fan.
Mm-hmm.
That would be proper use of ventilation. Also housekeeping. So housekeeping and ventilation when it comes to mold falls on tenants. There is a mold disclosure in a booklet. AGLA has it, CAA has it, telling tenants what their responsibilities are in regards to mold. That is an absolute requirement that you get that to them.
Okay.
Bed bugs also a requirement under California state law.
I've never heard of that before, but okay. Bed bugs under.
There's 5 civil codes.
This is why you got to use AGLA or CAA or some other thing, because it changes faster than you can keep up.
Yeah.
But do I need to give them something? I know it's in here. Do I need to provide something about
It should be like considered part of the lease. You know what I do is I will handwrite the page number so it's very clear that it's like a contiguous part. And then like that way, if you want to do an addendum to extend the lease instead of a brand new lease, because I find that kind of onerous, then you do the same thing. You keep you keep writing numbers so it's page numbers so it's clear it's all part of one document and that they got it all.
Okay. Hold on. Chris, you just dialed it in. You guys see where it says page numbers at the top and you can add page numbers and now all these are additional pages? Mm-hmm. If you're trying to rent your garage separately, you do not include it in your residential lease packet.
Right.
It is not an addendum you attach to the lease. Otherwise, it gets residential protections.
Right.
It's a separate contract for a reason. That's all I wanted to say. So if you include your parking with your residential contract, it has residential protections. If you leave it on a separate commercial contract, it's not susceptible to rent control because it's commercial.
Well, I mean, it's less depending upon how communist your judge is.
Yeah. Depending on the contract and how it's written. I'm just when you're putting that all together and giving it a page number, watch your parking is all I was trying to say.
My parking, I've already, it's street parking only. I'm not including the garage at this point. So I just have on here street parking only.
There you go.
Okay.
If you're a member of AGLA, just go onto the forms section and it's broken down by move in and everything, and then it's got all the addendums and everything, and you can just print it all out.
Okay, perfect. And then what's reasonable for the late rent fee? Is it $50? Do you charge more than that?
I always charge a percentage of the rent. The reason being is, let's say they live there for 40 years. If it's a percentage of the rent, you never have to serve a 30-day to change the late fee amount because it's a percentage of the rent. Fair Housing seems to recognize 7% as a late fee. I put 10.
Okay.
I'm using it as a deterrent.
Okay, so just 10% of rent, basically.
10% of the rent would be the late fee. Correct. Okay. That's what I listed as.
Okay. All right.
Just as an FYI, Patty, in some of the webinars, they've been advising not to use percentages and to use a dollar amount. I'm not exactly sure.
I understand
that. I think it's supposed to have some like rational basis of what it actually costs you when they don't pay on time.
Yeah.
And the reality of that is it's all something that's heavily argued right now.
Right. It's something you got to be willing to give up. And I see why you do it because you're trying to discourage it.
I want a high fee for not paying your rent on time because I'm using it as a deterrent so that you pay your rent on time. I'm not necessarily out there trying to collect that 10% as a late fee. I don't want it. I want you to pay your rent on time.
Right. No, I hear you. That's why I was curious. My friend, her lease, she has $50 on the second day of the month and $10 for each day or portion thereof the rent is delinquent.
Illegal. Because at some point that's going to go over 10% and that makes it illegal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're saying 10% as a deterrent. Others are saying a dollar amount.
Then put a 300. How much is the rent?
3,100.
I'd make a late fee of at least $300 to $500. I don't want them to pay the rent late.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I mean I don't think that'd be upheld. Like I think you can do it. You can do it, but don't expect it anything close to that to be upheld. I don't think it makes you look I don't think it makes you look very good in front of
It doesn't matter if you have a $15 late fee right now. It's probably not going to be upheld even if it's $15. It's not a way for us to make money right now. It is just a deterrent to try to get the tenants to pay the rent on time. Nothing else.
I agree with you, but the problem with the $300 one is then you look like a greedy miser in front of a judge instead of looking reasonable.
Well,
Personally, I'd say like put $50. If
Patty,
it's not going to be upheld, if it's not going to be upheld anyway, why not do $50 and $10 each additional day or something?
then I want to make that $300, not 50.
Patty, I have tenants, 6 or 7 of them, for many years. Each one of them, they're paying $50 late fee because they have decided to pay their rent on the 20th.
I have the same tenants, except my late fee on them is $100 a month, and they gladly pay that $100 a month so that they can pay their rent on the 15th.
Wow.
They pay it every month like clockwork. It's insane. It's insane.
Okay.
Just so they can pay their rent late. But that's why I stopped doing $100 and $50 late fees, is because it's so low, they'll pay it.
Mm-hmm.
So David agrees with me. They're paying $50 more a month to have their rent on the 20th. I don't want the $50. I want the rent on the 1st.
And they seem to be happy about it.
Exactly, but I'm not happy about it.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is shift it so it works better for me, not for them. See how that worked?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want the $100. I want my rent on the 1st so I can pay the mortgage.
Right.
So I guess it's in perception and what you're trying to do. But I agree with David wholeheartedly. If you make it $50 or $100, they may pay that every month just so that they can pay their rent late and have another 2 weeks or a week or whatever. So it's not working as a deterrent for us. So it depends on what you want. Do you want the extra money or do you want your rent on time? You pick.
Yeah, I prefer the rent on time, but
then make the late fee higher.
Period.
Right. Then make the late fee higher.
Okay. Okay. And then one more question on this, on the lease agreement. For pet deposits, I said $500. Now, I typically don't allow pets, but I'm going to allow a pet. But this is an older pet. So I said her pet deposit was going to be $500.
I don't even think you can do a pet deposit, can you?
Hold on.
It just can't exceed 1 month.
Hold on. How many doors do you own, Sydney, including the house you live in?
Including, I have a 3-unit building. I live in one, and so I rent out 2 others.
Okay, so she can charge in California up to double the rent as a security deposit. However, we need to not call it a pet deposit and just call it an additional deposit. We never define what the additional deposit is for. Never, ever, 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 ever. So if an additional deposit is required because of a pet, and under her circumstance, she can do this because she owns less than 4 doors, okay? She can say an additional deposit is required because of your pet in the amount of blank and add that to the security deposit. But we're not calling it a pet deposit. It's additional deposit.
So I'll say additional deposit required due to pet?
Additional deposit is required. Don't go into detail.
Okay. You can also
Patty, shouldn't you just increase the deposit and just call it deposit and be done with it?
Exactly. Not separate it. She can do that too. She's got lots of options.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, pet rent too, because pet rent, get some pet rent. You're allowed to, and it's not refundable. Why are you getting that? Why are you so?
At inception, pet rent works. Okay. Right. After inception, it doesn't work anymore.
This is inception, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But Chris, it is really hard to get a mom and pop to understand why they can do it at hello and not mid-tenancy. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. So what Chris is saying is at inception, when they're first moving in, you could tell them that it's $50 a month more for pet rent, okay? Here's what's going to happen to you. Sometime during the course of the tenancy, the pet is going to disappear. It is going to pass away. It is going to run away. Something is going to happen. They're
Right.
going to want their $50 refund for next month.
Mhm.
Okay. And then 2 months are going to go by of them getting a refund of $50. And then they're going to say, I have a new pet. And you're going to say, okay, we're going to charge you $50 again. Well, that new $50 now looks like an illegal rent increase.
Okay.
That's where it gets tricky, is when you take one mid-tenancy. At hello, it's not a problem. But once the pet goes away and they want a refund, 3, 4, 5 months go, and then they bring in a new pet, it's that new $50 that creates a
I think it
problem.
depends on how the lease is written, because if the pet rent is in the lease, and it's written the right way, then it would still kick in and it's not an increase.
This is correct, but the key's there, is it written the right way?
But probably
other
with RSO, you're probably not going to get it.
The other thing is, I don't know if you guys realize, but we've already had oh, we're not going to have a pet. Oh, here's my note about an emotional support animal that also helped trash the place. So they know that, a lot of people know that scam now. They spend like $75 and they get a letter claiming they have some, mental infirmity, that like anxiety, that the pet's supposedly going to help them with, even though the doctor is supposed to actually have like evaluated the pet. Yeah, right.
They're saying you're not an emotional support animal, Blue. What do you think about that? She don't care. She don't care. So cautious with pet rent, and that's why.
Okay.
Also, you can't charge anything if they get you that letter about, the emotional support animal. You can like check, make sure the doctor's actually licensed in California or something, but
And
beyond
they've
that,
been
there's
seeing
really
them
nothing
for
you can
30
do.
days, and then that's it. You're done there.
Right. Well, I did have her do a pet application, and I did tell her she needs to have pet insurance as well as her renter's insurance.
Okay, and are you asking for an additional liability policy on the pet? That's how that works, is why I'm asking.
Okay. Do I need to?
Not necessarily, but you could. I mean, what kind of animal is it?
It's a small little Lhasa Apso or Yorkie poo. It's a small, like 15. Dog. Yeah.
I have my own opinion about things. I'll try to keep quiet. My theory is if you can kick it over the fence, it's not a dog.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And 14 years old. The dog's 14 years old. It's not going to be around a whole lot longer.
No, and they're usually an indoor dog.
Yeah.
It's that, and a Lhasa Apso isn't going to chew up the couch.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't bark. She's really, I mean, I know the dog. She's really quiet, and she won't have her all the time. It's when her sister.
Well, and it's not a breed that's likely to cause you liability by mauling someone else's kid.
Right. Exactly. So, I'm just trying to make sure I cover all. So then security deposit, I should just say, I was going to charge $3,100, which was equal to rent plus $500. I'll just say, call it $3,600 for the security deposit.
There you go.
Okay. Did I have any other questions? What do you do for added per occupant rent? 10%? Nothing?
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Can't do that anymore? It's
Well,
on the lease here.
Yes, if it's
Jurisdiction.
They're not related, so you could leave that at 10% for unauthorized occupants.
Okay, just say 10. It says added per occupant rent. 10 does say 10% of rent or 10%. Okay. And then one more question. Inspection consent. I typically allow my tenants to be home if they need to be, or if I have to go in and do anything. There's a box here, inspection consent, circle yes or check yes or no.
We want them to check yes, that they consent to inspections.
Okay. That's what I put yes, but I want to make sure that that's, and then, but I always will let them know within enough time, unless there's an emergency and I've got to get in there. So.
Right.
Okay. think those were my questions about this lease.
Please see the refrigerator question above. You got it, Val. I'll find it.
Yeah, I do have the new stove and refrigerator in there, so that's good. And then I'll work on an addendum with those other documents just to make sure she has everything.
Gotcha. Val, you have questions about providing a refrigerator in a new unit. Here's my opinion to you guys, okay? And just hear me out. If I have a tenant that lives in a property currently and the refrigerator takes a crap, I'm going to put in the cheapest dinged and dented piece of crap I can find because it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to have an ice maker in the door. It just
That's
has to
part of the
work.
nebulizer.
It has
Right.
to be efficient
How do I
to the
get
unit
this into
size.
my nose?
So I'm going to go buy something in the dinged
This
and
gets
dented
hooked up to
section or the
to
used
tube in.
section as far as the refrigerator goes. I get that you have a tenant moving out,
Danny is
but
Jeff.
now you have somebody
Jeffrey Demick.
new coming in. This is your chance to put in
Oh, sorry.
something new and
Hi, Hugh.
sparkly
I just
and
picked
pretty
up the,
that's going to attract a
the
tenant.
ID,
Ah,
the ampules,
so we may not want to buy the
the
tenant's
steroids
old
you put up your
refrigerator
nose.
because it may make our unit look bad.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's in a meeting.
Well, how do you get it in your nose?
Somebody
It
can
says
hear
put
us.
it in the
I can't.
nebulizer cup, but it doesn't come with anything.
Hang
Just
on,
with
I'm
the
trying.
ampules.
I suck. Here we go, chat.
Well, I have one of those bottles that you fill up, to the rim, and you put the salt packets in.
Prescriptions. Can somebody turn their mic off, please? Pretty please. Thank you. Okay, so a vacant unit, I would put something pretty that's going to get my unit rented quickly. A non-vacant unit that somebody's occupied, I'm going to put together something dinged and dented from the used appliance store. Okay. But somebody new, I want to attract a new tenant that's willing to pay my market rent. So I want to make it look good. So I don't know that I would necessarily purchase somebody's refrigerator coming out of there. I hope that makes sense to you. And come on, sometimes at Lowe's and Home Depot, you can find stuff in the dinged and dented section cheap that's in good shape. Just saying. Any update from the state of emergency, price gouging, expiration date? They did not make an extension on the vacancy decontrol.
So
Everybody
that's
got
good,
that?
right? That's good.
Correct. In other words, we can bring our units up to market value now, as far as the fires and all of that go. Okay? They initiated a state of an emergency because of the floods that we had over Christmas, but that's been 30 days because that happened on Christmas Day, if I remember correctly. And if I'm wrong, it happened on New Year's Day in Wrightwood. So with that being said, we've already gone past our 30 days. So at this point in time, we don't have any price gouging in play that I'm aware of.
And that's in the full state? Is that for me in DCBA? Is that everywhere in the state of California?
Let's just look at Southern California because that's as far as my brain wants to go.
Okay.
Wasn't there an ICE one though that was still like a month or something?
There's an ICE one regarding no evictions, but that has to do if they are not an immigrant and you need to evict them for not paying their rent. That is
not about vacancy decontrol.
Bingo.
Vacancy decontrol. Okay. Yeah, and I don't think I'm subject to vacancy decontrol.
Nobody's subject to vacancy decontrol.
Okay. So I'm okay to charge.
We only were because of the fires.
Okay. So now I'm able to charge whatever I need.
Market value.
Market value. Okay. Okay, great. That's
Yay!
Oh, good to know.
Because we don't look good in orange.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was through the end of February. I thought it was extended from January to the end of February, and
They didn't put any more extensions on it. It's really hard for them to do that at this point.
Okay. Okay.
In other words, everybody's starting to see clearly through the bureaucracy and the bullshit.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Written somewhere I can find that?
What written somewhere?
As far as that there's vacancy I'm not subject to vacancy.
There is no vacancy decontrol in Southern California.
Okay. Okay.
It was only implemented as protections due to the fires. Now that has been lifted.
If you call
Got it.
Mona, can you get the actual language somehow? Like what she knows where it
You can
was?
call Mona over at the apartment association and get the language. Either
Okay.
that or call me there tomorrow.
Okay.
Not
All
there
right.
today. And I'll go look up and see what the assembly bill was that stopped that from happening. But yeah, we're
No,
good.
that's great. Now I can charge market. I'm happy. Okay. That's why I was waiting for so long just to see what was going on, but I'm good. Thank you.
Yes, and I can't encourage you guys enough. Advertise at your local hospitals. Advertise at your local, and hear me out, okay? Just hear me out. Advertise your house for rent at your local hospital, at your local colleges, at your education centers. If you have training centers that do like tech school kind of things, go advertise at the tech schools. Okay? Hear me out and listen. Go to the aerospace industry if you're close to Raytheon, or it used to be Rockwell International, Hughes Aircraft, all of that kind of stuff, okay? Go knocking and talking. We all know somebody that works there. Go to Human Resources and give them your flyer of your home for rent, because you're advertising to people that have jobs. Okay? There's a huge aerospace industry right here in Southern California. Huge aerospace industry with Raytheon and Virgin Air and Elon Musk and all of this stuff. There's stuff going on at the Hawthorne Airport. There's stuff going on at Torrance Airport, all in regards to this stuff. Okay? So with that said, go there to find tenants. They have jobs. Okay?
Yeah.
If you know somebody that works for the bus line, that has all the bus drivers, have them advertise in Human Resources. You guys all have friends in various aspects of the industry in Southern California that work somewhere. Where do they work? Do they have a Human Resources department? And can you give them a flyer?
And oftentimes employees, if you know employees there, they have all these web chat boards and they share information about apartments and roommates and all that. So I've had my friend post things at Google before because it's 10 minutes from my house. Yeah. So if you know people that work in these places, it's so helpful.
I got a property in Inglewood. Do you know what's right there? In Inglewood? LAX. You know what else is in Inglewood?
Metro.
The Forum. You know what else is there? Raytheon. You know what else is there?
All that.
Like all these huge Northrop International. I mean, Rockwell. I mean, there's all these huge aerospace industries that have hundreds of thousands of employees.
Mattel is right there too, just
See?
under the. Yeah.
See? You guys paying attention? Okay. Just making sure you guys are paying attention.
Patti, what about San Bernardino?
Do the same thing. Go. If you have a property in San Bernardino, go advertise it at Loma Linda. That's a huge teaching hospital. It's huge, yeah? Go to their Human Resources department. Go to the local colleges. Go to the Human Resources department. Put this up in Human Resources. There's colleges all over there. We have Cal State San Bernardino. We have Cal State Redlands. We have all these colleges. Why are we not advertising at them? Because they have faculty and staff that need a place to live. It doesn't mean you're advertising to their students. Okay? Their faculty and staff needs to live somewhere too. Same thing if you're near a major hospital. I mean, I think what we need to start asking ourselves is, what is the biggest thing around me? What is the biggest thing around my apartment community? Is it Disneyland? Is Disneyland the closest thing to my apartment? Because if so, I need to go to Disneyland and I need to go talk to human resources and I need to list my house for rent with human resources at Disneyland. So when people go to get their paycheck, they can go, oh, look, there's a house for rent. Okay, you see how what I'm trying to do is take the biggest thing that my community has to offer and go advertise there. Okay? There's schools in your area. There's tech schools. There's all kinds of things. There's traveling nurse programs. There's all kinds of things that need housing for people that are already employed. I'd rather chase them than chase the programs trying to house people. Does that make sense? Does that click a little bit?
Very nicely said.
Anybody else have ideas of places we could advertise? I mean, you could go into LAX and find somebody that has human resources at the airport, yes? There's a concept. Right? Hey. Get in with human resources for whatever's major around wherever your vacant unit is. Because there's got to be a college. There's got to be some kind of a school. There's got to be some kind of a tech school. I mean, in Orange County, they have the fire academy right there, right? Oh, yeah. They need educators to teach those fire courses, right? Oh, yeah. They got to live somewhere too, right? Oh, see how that worked? The very first time I advertised a house for rent at the hospital, you're never going to believe who I rented the house to. Anybody guess? I went into human resources and said, I have a house for rent in Apple Valley. 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool. Kind of expensive, but this is my house for rent in Apple Valley. Human resources, local hospital. Guess who rented the house from me? The attending physician.
Patty, when you go to these places, do you attach some incentive to your presentation, like maybe
I want to rent to
security
your
deposit or stuff like that?
I want to rent to your employees. Your employees. Free credit screening for your employees. And you could do anything, $500 off security deposit. Yes, you guys could go into their meetings. Bring a box of donuts. But you're getting what I'm saying is, instead of you trying to get these programs and find these tenants through these placement things, go to these places where people have jobs. They have careers, hey, there's a concept. They may want to move. They may like the picture of your property. They may want to upgrade. They may be living in an Airbnb trying to figure it out. You never know. But if you go directly to human resources in some of these instances, you have a plethora of people that already have jobs. A friend of mine works for, I'm just going to say it, if I get in trouble, I get in trouble. She works for human resources at Staples. I advertised with her. Staples. Is this clicking with you guys? You know somebody that works at Best Buy, right? You have a family member that works. How do they get human resources for Best Buy? Huh? Paying attention? Ah. Oh. Okay. all these places want to have housing for their employees. They don't want their employees commuting from Lancaster to LA every day. They want something closer in LA for them.
Patty, for the sake of it, for example, when you go to the Department of Human Resources, say exactly what you say, how you start, and what words exactly do you use, please.
Hi, my name's Patti, and I'm coming to you for help because I have a service I'd like to offer your employees. I have a vacant home that I'd like to get rented, and I'm sure that you have an employee that's looking for housing. So I want to help your employees because they matter to our community. So with that said, I have a flyer here I'd like to put up in your area, advertising to your employees, giving them $500 off their security deposit, or offering them free screening for their employees. Their employees. And usually they go, oh, this is great. I know Frank's looking for a house and so's Lisa. Let me see if I can. Usually they already know 10 people. Okay?
So you go with the flyer. You go with the flyer.
I go with the flyer with a picture, with pictures of it. You know at the remember back in the day at the laundromat, they would print out the flyer of the house for rent and cut the little pieces of paper with the phone number, the email address, or something like that. Take something similar. A flyer that they can take a picture of, or take a picture of the website, or pull a little piece of paper off giving them a phone number or a website to go to. But usually the person in human resources already knows who's looking to move. They already know. They know what's going on.
So you try to put it on the bulletin board?
Yes. Yes. Up by the time clock. On the bulletin board. Anything to help their employees. And they want their employees to work closer to home. They want their employees to be close. So they're going to encourage that kind of behavior. Make sense?
Thank you, Patti.
No problem. But I just tell them, hi, I'm here. I have a service that may be of benefit to your employees. They usually go, oh, they usually know 2 or 3 people that are looking for a place to rent right off the top of their head. It's like you're going straight to the source, you know? It's crazy. Human resources usually knows who's getting a divorce, who's getting married, who's moving. They usually know. So it's a great resource for us. And if you're near an airport, advertise at the airport. They have employees there too, believe it or not, especially at LAX. Anybody else have ideas to help us? Okay. Talk to your friends that are employed for companies like Big Five. As an example, Big Five has a website to send their employees to help them find housing. Sometimes we can advertise on their websites. We just got to go through human resources so they know it's not a scam. I mean, look at it this way. Look at how many people get scammed on Craigslist out there. That's happened to their employees. They want to make sure they're not setting their employees up for failure. We're just trying to find somebody that's got a freaking paycheck. Concept. Those types of places make great resources for us to give them housing because they have jobs. They have 401ks. You know what I mean? It's making sense to you guys yet? Advertise to people that have money, not to people that don't. So one of my tips and tricks. Hope that helps you guys. Let me see if anybody has anything else. I'm the housing intern president at Cal State Dominguez right now. There you go, Christina. And if you have an opportunity to go speak somewhere and talk to somebody that may do something like that, then go do it. But I mean, it's a lot to ask. It's a big ask for a little mom and pop. If you're managing property for investment, different set of facts. Also, you could show up at real estate companies with your flyer with your house for rent and have it at their meeting to see if they want to help, but they're all going to want a referral. They're all going to want money. But it is an option. Whereas Best Buy and all these places where you're talking to human resources, there's even human resources like at UCLA, you guys. At UCLA, there's human resources.
What is
You can also put a QR code on the flyer so somebody can just take a picture of that.
QR codes are great. If you need somebody to help you make one, I got a web guy that can do that and design you down the right road. He does amazing work.
You can just do it on your phone.
They want to do a QR code and put it on a t-shirt so that when I speak at an event, people can just scan me. I don't know if I like that. Do it. Okay, I'm gonna get a t-shirt that's just a QR code. And I liked on Wednesdays we wear widget. I thought that was cute. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for your input always. I'm trying to be a good girl. I am on the mend. Today's the first morning I woke up feeling better. I haven't coughed up a lung during this course, so I know I'm doing much better. I'm trying really hard not to get laryngitis by screaming and yelling. And hopefully next week I'll be great. AGLA live and in person next week on Wednesday. Lunch and learn. Have no idea what I'm teaching, but I'll see you there if you sign up. And on Thursday, I'm doing a webinar for AGLA. So live and in person on Wednesday in Koreatown. I'd love to see you guys. And then get ready for the upcoming trade shows. We have one on the 19th of March and one on the 25th of March, which I hope to see both of you guys at both of them. I hope to see Val at the Orange County Trade Show. I'm going to be there. You better be there, girls. Go have dinner at what is it? Maestro's Steakhouse afterwards. All right. If anybody has anything else, I'll answer it for them. If not, I'm going to get off of here because I don't need to strain my voice any more than I have.
Quick question. If my tenant wants an 18-month lease versus a 12-month lease, what do you think?
I'd be more than happy to consider 18 months. But at 18 months, I'm going to warrant a rent increase now.
Okay.
Because all they're doing at 18 months is forcing you to not raise the rent.
Right. Right. Exactly. Wanting to lock that in.
And here's my opinion. The market's about ready to take a crap, lock in the 18 months.
That's what I'm thinking. And then after 18 months, I can raise the rent.
It may be at 15 months, they're going to tell you we need to renegotiate for less amount.
Yeah.
So that could be the case, but I'd lock in the 18 months right now.
And
you
just
guys,
do a month lease.
under today's circumstances.
Yes. Right.
Under today's circumstances, I would take the 18 months at that rate right now.
And lock that in for an 18-month term on the lease. Okay, got it. Perfect.
I would. If that's what it's taken to get somebody to get in there, get them in there. Get them in there. Get these vacants filled, you guys.
Yeah, and it's bringing me up to my market rent, so that's
if
good.
you don't have to sell your soul to the devil to do it, get it rented.
Ooh, thank you.
No problem. That was an easy one. Anybody else have anything? I'm starting to lose my voice is why I'm asking.
Go feel better.
Okay, and if you guys have the opportunity this weekend, I wasn't joking. If you can get to Death Valley or Grand Canyon or Anza Borrego Desert, or just go out to Lake Elsinore, just go see the wildflower bloom. It's going to be beautiful. I promise. I'm already seeing it starting. So, hey, I just want to tell you guys. You remember those years they had whole mountainsides of oranges and yellows and purples? That's coming again. It's about 2 weeks away from us, give or take. They're just not announcing it yet. The super bloom is here. So if you want to be ahead of the game, get out to the desert this weekend. Avoid the people. Just saying. All right, anybody else have anything for me? Otherwise, I'm getting off of here. I'm going to try to go take a shower, steam my lungs, get some rest, and then we'll be back on an adventure next week. I hope to see all of you in Koreatown on Wednesday. If you guys need anything, feel free to give me a call, okay? Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.